It was a crisp winter afternoon when Daniel Mercer, one of the city's most influential businessmen, pulled into the driveway of his sprawling estate. From the corner of his eye, he noticed movement near the garden, beyond the tall wrought iron gates. Curious, he slowed his car. What he saw made him stop entirely. A boy, thin, clothes torn, hair messy, was twirling and stepping on the stone pavement, his movements fluid and full of emotion. In front of him, sitting in her wheelchair, was Daniel's daughter, Emily. She was laughing, a sound Daniel hadn't heard in months. Emily had been paralyzed from the waist down after a tragic accident a year ago, and her once bright spirit had faded into silence. But here she was, clapping along, eyes lit with pure joy, as this stranger danced for her like she was the only audience in the world. Daniel's instinct was to rush out and demand answers. How had this boy even gotten into the property? But something in Emily's laughter stopped him. Instead, he watched for a moment, taking in the scene. The boy's dance wasn't perfect. In fact, it was clumsy at times, but there was passion in every movement, a raw kind of storytelling that seemed to pull Emily into another world. Finally, Daniel stepped out of his car. The boy froze. Mid-step, eyes wide with fear. Emily immediately spoke up. "Dad, wait. He's my friend." Daniel raised an eyebrow. "Your friend? Since when?" Emily explained quickly. She had seen the boy several times just beyond the gates, mimicking dance routines from videos playing on a shop's TV down the street. That afternoon, she had called out to him when the gardener left the side gate open. His name was Liam, and he was living in the shelter downtown after losing his parents a year ago. He loved to dance, but he'd never had a teacher, never been on a stage, and certainly never performed for an audience until now. Daniel listened silently, his businessman's mind processing the situation. Liam looked down at his worn-out sneakers, clearly expecting to be thrown out. But then Daniel asked, "Why dance?" Liam's voice was quiet but steady. "Because it's the only time I forget I'm alone." The answer hit Daniel harder than he expected. For a moment, he was back in his own childhood, before success and wealth. Remembering the emptiness after losing his own father, he felt something. From that day on, Daniel invited Liam to come by twice a week to dance for Emily. Weeks turned into months. Liam's confidence grew, and Emily's laughter became a daily sound in the Mercer home. Daniel began to see how Liam's visits were more than entertainment, they were therapy. Emily started showing interest in music again, even trying to learn simple upper body dance moves from her wheelchair. But there was a problem. The shelter where Liam stayed was overcrowded and about to close due to lack of funding. One rainy afternoon, Liam didn't show up. Emily was worried. Daniel drove to the shelter himself and found Liam sitting on the steps, his few belongings in a plastic bag. Without hesitation, Daniel told him to get in the car. They didn't go back to the Mercer estate immediately. Instead, Daniel took Liam to a dance academy in the city. The owner was an old friend of his. He explained Liam's situation, and after a short, nervous demonstration from Liam, the owner agreed to give him free lessons. Over the next year, Liam transformed. He went from dancing alone on cold streets to performing in front of hundreds. Emily attended every performance, cheering the loudest from her wheelchair. The bond between them was unshakable. One evening, after Liam had performed his first solo in a regional competition, he stood on stage to receive an award. Cameras flashed, applause thundered. But when he was handed the microphone, he didn't thank the judges or even the dance academy first. He looked directly at Daniel and Emily in the audience. "You gave me a chance when I had nothing," he said, voice breaking. "You reminded me that I wasn't invisible. And you," he turned to Emily, "you reminded me why I dance, to bring joy, even when life tries to take it away." The crowd was silent for a heartbeat, and then the applause returned louder than before. Daniel felt something stir in his chest, pride, humility, and a deep gratitude for a chance encounter that had changed all their lives. Liam went on to become a professional dancer, performing worldwide, but he always returned to visit Emily. Their friendship became a lifelong connection, a living reminder that sometimes the smallest, most unexpected meetings can lead to the biggest changes. And Daniel? He never forgot the lesson Liam had unknowingly taught him. Wealth isn't measured by what you have, but by the lives you touch along the way. In the end, what began as a fleeting encounter between a lonely homeless boy and a grieving, disabled girl became a story of healing, second chances, and the unshakable power of kindness. Liam found not just a stage, but a family who believed in him when the world had turned its back. Emily rediscovered her laughter, her hope, and the joy of looking forward to each new day. And Daniel learned that true success isn't in contracts signed or fortunes earned, but in the lives we choose to lift up. Sometimes the smallest moments, a shared smile, a few steps of a dance, can ripple outward and change the course of entire lives.